My Lords and members of the House of Commons, Her Majesty's government's priority is to grow and strengthen the economy and help ease the cost of living for families.
That is certainly what the government should be doing. That's what they should be doing. Yeah, they should be prioritising families and the cost of living. That's exactly what they should be doing, yes. My question would be, is if that's the government's priority, why in all of those areas is everything so horrible? If you're focusing on that, it's like having a football team and being the manager and saying, listen, our focus is on defense. Our focus is on stopping the other team scoring any goals. And every game, that whole season, you've been letting in like 10 goals a game. And then the manager comes out and says, listen, guys, we're a very defensive team here. We focus, we do a lot of drills. So in the Queen's speech, Prince Charles is supposed to outline what it is the government have been doing and are going to be doing. And it becomes apparent from this speech that the people in the government don't do anything. And I listened to this whole speech, and the whole thing reminds me of an employee just using buzzwords to describe the work that they've been doing and they're going to be doing because they haven't been doing anything. You know, that's the whole vibe of this speech.
Her Majesty's government will level up opportunity in all parts of the country and support more people into work.
We're going to level up opportunity in all areas of the country. Listen, we're going to be leveling up the opportunity. If someone comes up to you in work and says, what have you been doing for the last 3 weeks? And you turn around and say, listen, I've been leveling up the opportunities across the floor. That means you haven't been doing nothing. If you're a manager and you say to someone, what have you been doing? And they say, I've been leveling up opportunities everywhere. That means this person hasn't done anything. They haven't done anything. They're not planning to do anything. What are you going to be doing for the next month in work? I'm going to be leveling up the opportunities, David. That person ain't doing nothing. You know it. That's work speak for sounds good but means nothing.
Her Majesty's ministers will continue to support the police to make the streets safer and fund the National Health Service to reduce the COVID backlogs.
None of this is work either. The people in the government will support the police. What does that mean? Okay, the police's job, the jobs that the police have, that's the police's job. That's not the government's job. It's like we're going to be supporting the police. We're going to be supporting them, and we're going to continue to fund the NHS. That happens automatically. The funds go from the taxes straight to the NHS automatically. We don't need government. Ministers don't get involved in that. It's like me saying, what are you going to do for the next month? The direct debit that I've set up to my bank is going to continue to go through. We're going to keep working on that.
In these challenging times, Her Majesty's government will play a leading role in defending democracy and freedom across the world.
So the people locking us in our houses and beating us up if we go outside and complain about it are going to continue to support freedom and democracy across the world. Few.
Including continuing to support the people of Ukraine.
You know how they're going to continue to support democracy across the world and at the same time support Ukraine? When did we have a vote on whether or not this country supports Ukraine? How do we know this country doesn't support Russia?
Her Majesty's government will drive economic growth to improve living standards and fund sustainable investment in public services.
These people aren't doing anything, man. As someone who once worked in a corporation at management level, these people ain't doing nothing. We're going to drive growth. That means you ain't doing nothing. Anything that's like, I want to tangibly know, bro, what you're doing. Who are you calling? What meetings are you having? I want to know what you're doing. If my employee says to me, I'm driving growth.
This will be underpinned by a responsible approach to the public finances.
This is an employee that isn't doing anything. I've been driving growth with a very responsible approach. I've been taking a responsible approach, and I've been driving growth and leveling up opportunities everywhere in this company, sir. You're fired.
Reducing debt while reforming and cutting taxes.
Now we get to the bit where they start telling you they're just going to do these impossibly wonderful things. We're going to reduce the debt. Oh, really? How are you going to reduce the debt? By reducing taxes. We're going to take less money from you, and with less money than we were taking from you before, we're going to pay off your debts. Doesn't that sound good? Huh? Doesn't that sound great? Doesn't it sound so simple that any idiot would do it if it were that easy?
Her Majesty's ministers will support the Bank of England to return inflation to its target.
Have you noticed that any institution that is failing miserably is being supported very closely by the government? Anywhere when no work is being done, or anywhere where things are going backwards and getting worse, the government is in such a supporting role to these industries.
A bill will be brought forward to drive local growth, empowering local leaders to regenerate their areas, and ensuring everyone can share in the United Kingdom's success.
Oh, and just to be clear, when he says, and we'll make sure that everyone gets to benefit in the success, what that means is massive, ongoing, criminal levels of illegal immigration.
The planning system will be reformed to give residents more involvement in local development.
Residents more involved in local development. Dude, I know some people that woke up in the morning and there was just a 5G mast right outside their front door, just blasting radiation. They weren't even asked. Okay, they're just slapping a giant 5G digital control network everywhere across the neighborhood. They're cutting down all the trees so that the electric waves can beam straight into our houses. And this guy's telling you, we're going to keep you so involved.
Her Majesty's government will improve transport across the United Kingdom, delivering safer, cleaner services and enabling more innovations.
I'm telling you, man, these people aren't doing anything. Did you hear what he said? He said we're going to be enabling more innovations. Do you know how you enable an innovation? You don't do anything. You enable somebody to innovate. I'm going to be enabling all the innovators. That means I'm not doing anything. Okay, do you know how you enable someone to innovate? You just keep doing what you were doing before and you just let them do the better thing. This is literally management speak for we're not going to be doing anything.
Legislation will be introduced to modernize rail services and improve reliability for passengers.
Just for anyone that doesn't live in the United Kingdom, the train services have been getting worse and worse every year. And it shows no signs of slowing down. Every year the trains get more packed, less frequent. Okay, every year the rail services get worse. Just in case you don't live in the United Kingdom and you don't know how much this guy is just fucking taking the piss out of us right now. When he gets up there and says, I'll tell you what we're going to be doing. We're going to be working on the rail system. Oh yeah, that's going to continue to get better.
Her Majesty's ministers will bring forward an energy bill to deliver the transition to cheaper, cleaner, and more secure energy.
Did you hear that? Cheaper energy. Mate, this guy is a master troll. He's up there with all these medals on, sitting on this gold chair, and saying, I'll tell you what we're working on right now, me and my team. Cheaper energy, man. Your energy bills, you're welcome.
This will build on the success of the COP26 summit in Glasgow last year.
They haven't done a day's work, man, in 6 years. We will build on the successful summit. Oh, you had a successful summit. So I've been driving growth and having successful summits this whole year. You know how the energy bills are 10 times what they used to be? I've been working on keeping those down.
Her Majesty's government will establish the UK Infrastructure Bank in legislation with objectives to support economic growth and the delivery of net zero.
Here's what they're really going to be doing. Net zero. Did you notice that he used the same management rubbish speak when he said we're going to establish a new infrastructure bank and they're going to be driving growth and promoting sustainability and having successful summits and net zero? That's exactly how I said it. Listen again.
Her Majesty's government will establish the UK Infrastructure Bank in legislation with objectives to support economic growth and the delivery of net zero. Reforms to education will help every child fulfill their potential wherever they live, raising standards and improving the quality of schools and higher education.
They aren't doing anything. They're not doing it. Raising standards, improving the quality. I'm going to be raising the standards and improving the quality, man. I'm going to be driving growth, raising standards, improving quality. I'm going to be doing everything. You're not doing anything, dude.
Her Majesty's ministers will publish draft legislation to reform the Mental Health Act. Her Majesty's government will continue to seize the opportunities of the United Kingdom's departure from the European Union.
The language these people use, man. The use of the word continue there. We will continue to seize the opportunities. Name me one opportunity that you lot have seized. Give me one.
Her Majesty's ministers will encourage agricultural and scientific innovation at home.
Do you see what I mean? Oh, Her Majesty's ministers are going to be encouraging innovation also. They're going to be encouraging innovation. That means they're not going to be doing anything. You're going to encourage other people to innovate.
Legislation will unlock the potential of new technologies to promote sustainable and efficient farming and food production.
That means we're going to start allowing giant corporations to do horrible things to your food in the name of profits. That's what that means.
Her Majesty's government will protect the integrity of the United Kingdom's borders and ensure the safety of its people. Her Majesty's ministers will take action to prevent dangerous and illegal channel crossings and tackle the criminal gangs who profit from facilitating them.
We want to know the action that Her Majesty's government take to prevent the illegal border crossings at the moment? Do you know what the action is? They meet them halfway. They meet them in the middle of the channel and go, here we are, guys, come in here, and they grab all the people and they take them in on boats. That's how they prevent it happening. They literally say, listen, just get this far and we'll get them in.
Legislation will be introduced to ensure the police have the powers to make the streets safer.
What, that hasn't already been introduced? Why hasn't that been introduced? We're going to produce laws that enable the police to make the streets safe.
A bill will be brought forward to further strengthen powers to tackle illicit finance, reduce economic crime, and help businesses grow.
Nobody has done more over the last 4 years to destroy small businesses than the government. True story.
Her Majesty's government will lead the way in championing security around the world.
What are you going to be doing for the next 6 months in the office, Williams? Sir, I am going to be championing security across the company. Championing is another one. Anyone that says I'm going to be championing growth, this person isn't doing anything.
It will continue to invest in Her Majesty's gallant armed forces. Her Majesty's ministers will work closely with international partners to maintain a united NATO and address the most pressing global security challenges.
I'm telling you, man, these people do nothing. Anyone that says, I'm going to be working closely with people that will be doing work, it's like, what are you actually going to be doing? We're going to be working very closely with people, and we're going to be championing stuff that people are going to be doing. Anyone that's innovating, we're going to be getting out of their way or encouraging them. It's like, I promise you these people aren't doing anything. I promise you.
Her Majesty's government will prioritise support for the Belfast Good Friday Agreement and its institutions.
What are you going to be doing for the next 6 months in the office, Williams? Sir, I am going to be prioritising support for an agreement.
Including through legislation to address the legacy of the past.
You're going to be supporting an agreement, Williams. That sounds like you're not going to be doing anything at all. Can you give me anything more tangible that you're going to be doing? Oh, don't worry, sir. I know it sounds like I'm not going to be doing much because I say I'm going to be supporting an agreement. But within that support of the agreement, I'm also going to be addressing the legacy of the past. So just to give you something really specific that I'll be focusing on, I'll be addressing the legacy of the past, sir.
Her Majesty's government will ensure the Constitution is defended. Her Majesty's ministers will restore the balance of power between the legislature and the courts by introducing a Bill of Rights. Legislation will prevent public bodies engaging in boycotts that undermine community cohesion.
Man, there's something sinister about this one, to be honest. Prevent boycotts that undermine cohesion. So what? We're going to be forced to use certain products and services. We're not allowed to boycott things anymore. And that's going to be the law. Oh yeah, I don't see anything nefarious going on here at all. Like all the work these people are doing, right? They're very vague about, and you can tell when they're actually doing something because it involves your rights being taken away.
Legislation will also be introduced to ban conversion therapy.
You might be thinking, what does that mean? They're going to ban conversion therapy. They're going to make it the law that people can't pray about certain things. Just to be clear. It's not like the government are interested in attacking Christianity. They're going to start regulating what you can pray about.
Members of the House of Commons, estimates for the public services will be laid before you. My Lords and members of the House of Commons, other measures will be laid before you.
Other measures will be laid before you. Could you be any less specific on this, please, Prince Charles? Other measures will be laid before you. That sounds a bit ominous to me. Other measures will be laid before you.
Her Majesty prays that the blessing of Almighty God may rest upon your counsels.